Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
All right. Good evening. Hey, John.
Back again. Hello.
We're here. I think we were off last week, right? I think I called an audible, and we got a special treat. I think we had teased this idea for a while, but we had to align schedules. And we're also gonna do this out of order. We're gonna do our main segment first, right?
Yep.
And what we got in the waiting room, we got two special guests. We got Attila from AJ Design. He's the guy behind both bringing back Oscar the Grouch and also giving us for the first time Mr. Macintosh. And I'll let him introduce his guest. I'll say it's his guest. So let me first bring in Attila. All right, here he is. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey, and you're joining us from California.
Yeah,
yes.
Southern California.
And who do you have with you?
We have the legend himself, the man, the myth, and the legend, Eric Shapiro. He's the original creator of the Grouch.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Well, before we talk too much more, I actually have to record this for the audio portion, so I don't get ahead of myself here. Let's get my controls, and I'm going to go, of course. I'm still fixing things from before. Yeah, it should have been so easy, and I wound up, here we go. There we go. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we're ready to go. We got Attila from AJ Design. He's brought with him Eric Shapiro, who created the original Oscar. Well, I guess it's just Grouch. It couldn't be Oscar the Grouch, right? Because that would be too much.
Well, it was actually Oscar at first.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, really? The first version was called Oscar, and I liked Oscar. And then Apple released a developer tool, a file transfer tool named Oscar.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Very unhappy at the time. So I changed the name to the Grouch.
The Grouch. And why don't we... I said we were going to talk about Mr. Macintosh first, but we're already talking about the Grouch.
Whichever you want.
So let's just do that. Let's talk about the Grouch. So John and I are old enough to remember Oscar or Oscar the Grouch or the Grouch.
Absolutely. Yes.
Of course, we also grew up on the actual Oscar the Grouch, so we know him well. And I remember downloading it and being like, this is the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. But of course, back then, you didn't know where this thing came from. It was just wherever you got stuff, right?
Whatever user group you happen to be in at the time, right?
So now, let's see, how many years later is it? When did it first come out?
1989, I think.
89. Okay, so it's taken this long for us to thank the creator. So
But you were able to tell who made it because of the info screen. Every time you pulled up the info, there was his name right there.
I see. Yeah, but we didn't get to talk
Eric
to you.
Shapiro.
Yeah, that was actually, I used to work for Apple teaching Mac programming classes. And one of the things I told my students was always hide your name inside the app somewhere. So if somebody, so you can prove that you actually wrote it, even if you were working for another company.
Yeah, like an Easter egg.
Yeah. Put your name in an Easter egg somewhere. But this was for me, so I just put it right front and center.
There you go. Yeah.
So tell us what was the origin of the idea? How did this come to be?
Well, so I was at University of Michigan as a student, and I worked in one of the Lisa labs as a Lisa lab monitor. And I didn't, I liked the Lisas. I didn't love them. They had some issues. But then the next year we got Macintoshes instead. and I instantly loved the Macintoshes. And one of the things when I was a lab monitor over the summertime, we could sit in the lab for like 3-4 hours and nobody would come in because we were like in the middle of nowhere on campus. And so we would sit around and play with our Macs all we could. And so any little thing, and the first one that I remember, somebody changed the trash can into a toilet. and so I went to, we went around the lab, and sure enough, every single Mac had the trash can changed into a toilet. And it was very cool back then to think that you could customize your own environment, right? I mean, people weren't even used to, the mouse and the desktop yet. And then, there was a lot of little hacks like that. Soundmaster was one where you could attach sounds to different system actions.
Yeah.
And that was very popular. And of course, you had screensavers. There were tons and tons of the flying toasters and things like that. And so I always wanted to write something to modify it. And then the Mac Hack Conference started here in Ann Arbor. And they had a best hack contest every year. And you'd go there and a bunch of programmers, like 100 to 200 of them the first couple of years. And we would just try and do cool stuff and try and win the contest. And so I did the Grouch. I did not win with the Grouch. I won with a later program that I did. But,
do you remember what you lost out to that year?
I do. And that's actually how I won it. So I lost out to an extension called NetTrain.
So
or no,
nobody
I'm
remember-
sorry,
nope.
NetBunny. NetBunny.
Oh,
And
nobody remembers
so-
that.
Yeah, well, it was hilarious at the time, which is why he beat me, was because his demo was better than mine. And I learned from that. And so when I did Video Beep, the one that actually won, I juiced up the video, juiced up the demo more than the app itself. But NetBunny basically made the Energizer Bunny walk across your screen, which was an old TV commercial for those who don't remember it.
Yeah.
And would walk across your screen, but then it would go to the next Mac, and then the next one, and the next
wow.
Oh, wow. That's
So-
cool.
one. So in a Mac
Oh, that's
lab,
so-
it would just sort of circle around the Mac lab all day long, driving people crazy.
Wow.
So it was good. So so the Grouch, I always loved Oscar the Grouch, who's my favorite on Sesame Street. And I was kind of grouchy, so it kind of fit really well. My friend Ken Hornack did the graphics for it, and he's the one that made it cute. Like I did the software, but he's the one that made it cute, and that's just as important, as the software sometimes.
Wow.
And then, I gave it out at the hack contest, didn't really think much of it after that. And then like within a week, I'm getting postcards from Africa, people telling me they love it. Letters, people would send floppy disks in return envelopes and say, "Can I get a copy of it, please?"
Oh my gosh. That's
and
funny.
I put a copy of it, in the self-addressed
Oh, yeah.
envelope.
It was like the
Stop
late
it.
80s version of going viral. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it was. And then AOL was around. The internet wasn't really around much for people, but America Online was. A lot of people downloaded it from America Online.
And what if any attention did you get from the license holders, the Children's
Well,
Television Workshop?
It was a good 4 years. Let's put it that way. So it was out there for 4 years, and everyone enjoyed it. There were a couple of hiccups in, like one person contacted me and told me that their child threw out all of their files one at a time to see Oscar come
just
out
to
and
watch it.
play. And so I actually did like a little standalone app version of it for people who had little kids who didn't want that problem. So it was fine for a couple of years, and then sure enough, some lawyer at Children's Television Workshop saw it and said, "You can't do that," and sent me a cease and desist letter.
A little late. A little late.
Yeah, a little late, but
Yeah.
they were like adamant. I tried to license it at that point, and they didn't want to talk to me. I was persona non grata there, so so I had to kill it. I had to stop, tell people not to install it, and had to pull it off all the bulletin boards and stuff. The
Yeah.
people that uploaded it to.
Wow. It had to go underground.
Yeah,
Wow.
I wasn't helping, but I didn't care one way or the other. But
That's funny. All right.
I mean, I
So
never made any money from it, or I never asked for money for
sure.
it. So I knew by then I'd learned enough about copyright law to know that I wasn't really going to get in a lot of trouble if I wasn't making
Ah,
any money.
right. Yeah, good point.
So
So now here it is, 2026, and the Grouch returns. For now, at least, we'll hear what's the future of the Grouch
Get it while
now.
you can,
Is
right?
is that lawyer still there? Maybe
Been
we'll
waiting
find
all
out.
these
But
years. It's
so Attila,
coming back,
tell
I know
us
it.
now what led you to give the Grouch a rebirth.
Well, the Grouch was actually one of my favorite little gadgets that from the very beginning, even on my Mac Plus when I was using my first Mac Plus. And from then on every computer that I had, as long as I could, I installed the Grouch on. I still have my Color Classic, the Mystic version of it, and on every one of the installations, I have the Grouch on. So then for years there was no way to use it unless you use one of the emulators like Sheep Shaver or Snow now. But but then I decided, you know what? Let's just bring it back. And it was challenging because initially the trash can was sitting still, but now with the dock it moves as your mouse moves. So I had to actually come up with a workaround to have it stay with the trash can the whole time. But it paid off.
Well, also,
Yeah,
Apple has not made it easy to customize things anymore. Like back in the day, I mean, there were so many fun inits and CDEVs for the old black and white Macs, the old 68K Macs. They buttoned everything down in OS 10 and Mac OS, so there had to have been some workarounds you really had to do to get it to be usable.
Yeah, yeah, correct. It's a fortress now. Back then, developers could easily patch a trap to intercept Mac's heartbeat and see when a user emptied the trash. Today, this SIP, which is System Integrity Protection, makes it very, very hard. So I had to hook into the kernel level virtual file system, and so the app constantly monitors the invisible trash directories, and when the file count hits zero, Oscar is triggered. So it's a little bit harder, but not impossible. And in one way, it was much harder back then because you didn't have all the helper tools that we have available to us today. So I could imagine how much Eric had to go through to get it to a point where it was functioning. But today you have the AI helpers to help you figure out how to really get to the bottom of it and get it working.
Well, one
yeah, I
of the
think I
really
wrote
cool
it.
things. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I wrote it like two or three times before I figured out which was the right trap to patch, and exactly how to find it because you didn't want to slow down the whole system either. And I actually
Yeah.
wound up patching. The call was copy bits, which was the call that every single app used to blit things to the screen. And so, I want to make that call really as short as possible and wrote it in 68,000 assembler. And
Wow.
back then when it didn't work, it just crashed the system every single time too.
Hmm.
So you have to reboot with the shift key down and try again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
can't imagine having to reboot your Mac every single time. Oh my gosh.
but we're looking at the animation, and it's not like it's some slick high resolution version of the Grouch. This is actually like it looks like the original one. So in order to do that, you had to get a hold of Eric, right? And how did that come about?
No, no. Somebody on Reddit actually released the sprites for it, and
Oh,
and I
okay.
was able to download it, the sprites, and the color was slightly off. It was much darker green, so I went back to my Color Classic and tried to color match it so it's identical to the original. I really didn't want to modify it. I wanted it to be the exact same same animation that I grew to love. So I use the same sprites, and then I tried to find the actual song that Eric used when so I love trash, and I went online, and they actually had the song online, but it's a slightly different version. It wasn't the exact same one as Eric used. So later on, I got in touch with Eric, and he said that he actually used the CD version of it, which is different than what's available now on YouTube. So what I did is I recorded my Mac, the audio recording, and I used the exact same audio segment that Eric used. I just added a little mastering to it in Logic, so to boost up the bass a little bit.
I see. But then you're telling us before we start recording, like how you tracked down Eric and even had to start talking to him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I sent him the link to my website for him to see it, and so
There you
he
go.
he liked it. He corrected me on some of the things that I wrote in the description.
Yeah,
Because
some of
I
the
was
things online
misinformed.
about it, some of the things online about Mac Hack in general are not particularly reliable.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he corrected me, so I corrected it on the website. So now we have an accurate website.
Cool. And you got his full endorsement. That's
I
awesome.
did, yeah.
You know, I'm disowning it. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Seen
Your
enough
name's
lawyers
your
going
name's
like
still in the info box. I don't know if you can do that.
It'd be great if you started getting
it
some more
made me smile,
postcards.
I will say that.
Well, you can download the Grouch 3.0 over at ajdesign.app, but we've got one more app to talk about. This one was meant to be part of the original Mac OS, but didn't quite get there because of limitations of the hardware. So, Attila, give us the short intro, the short history of Mr. Macintosh.
So short, we have 3 hours, right? Okay. So I read on folklore.org that Andy Hertzfeld talked about how one time back in 1982, Steve Jobs burst into his office late at night, and he said, "Let's add a mysterious man that lives on your Mac who would randomly peek out from behind the menu drop-down, wink, and vanish so fast that the user wouldn't be able to even tell that it happened, or he would just think that he imagined it." And so Andy started working on it, and but it never really materialized because of the limitations of the early Mac 64 kilobyte ROM that it had, and as the OS grew, it ran out of memory, so they had to scrap the animation. They even hired artists to design it. Actually, Suzanne Kerr's first gig was to design this little Mr. Macintosh. That was before she drew the Happy Mac, way before that.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, exactly. And but it never made it. So for all these years, ever since 1982, nobody really did anything about it. So I finally decided, let's do it. Several years back, I created just a little animation posted on YouTube, just a black and white version of it, created in After Effects, what it would look like, but I never really thought about implementing it. So after I ported the Grouch, I said, let's do this as well. I think it would be fun.
Does Andy Hertzfeld know about this?
I don't know. I don't have any connection to him. So.
Oh, we'll have to find a way to make sure he knows about this.
He's on Facebook.
Is he? Oh, well,
Yeah.
We'll have to send. You'll have to send him a link. So
Yeah, we'll have to figure out a way.
Well, I installed it. You can set the number of clicks, and he'll appear, and say hello. There's a little beep when he appears, so your eyes can go to it.
Yeah, when he winks.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, and I love. You mentioned, I think you did the artist Falone that is in that style, and there was also what was there? There was like a Mr. Macintosh that was flying. There was a poster that had him flying, and then
Yes, and they had pins,
yes, the
and
pins.
also they put it on. It was never used on any shipping Macs, but it was included in the prototype Twiggy Macs logic boards.
Right,
On the
right.
If you
logic
take
board, yeah.
apart, yeah, on the
Yeah.
logic board, he is there. It's kind of stamped on it, but those are the only places where he appears. But I just modeled him based on those
Yeah. Oh,
concepts. Tried to
it's
bring it as
beautiful.
close as possible, and then
Kind of it kind of reminds me of there was a hack one year at MacHack called Kilroy.
Oh
And
yes,
for those-
yes.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
For those people who are too young, Kilroy was this sort of big nose, big head guy that U.S. soldiers drew on houses all over Europe.
Kilroy was here.
Yeah, Kilroy was here to indicate that they had been there. And so my friend Dave Koziel did Kilroy, where at the bottom of your screen, all of a sudden his head would kind of pop up. And then you'd move the mouse around and his eyes would follow you. And then very
Yeah.
quietly, he would just slowly disappear. And, it's just in fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
there's-
love those kind of fun hacks for the Mac, and I wish we had more of those nowadays.
Yeah.
They kind of died down as we got into OS 10.
Yeah.
But back to the Mr. Macintosh, the original idea of Jobs was for him to show up very rarely, like every 1,000 times that you click on the menu item, he would all of a sudden out of the blue show up. So if you want a true authentic experience, then you set the counter to 1,000 in your preferences.
I see. Okay. Well, I have a feature request or suggestion. If he would appear randomly somewhere and then maybe do different things. I know it's a lot to ask. Because when I had the idea, when I first read about the story of Mr. Macintosh, it was this kind of idea like he would appear out of nowhere, meaning like anywhere on the screen, like peek in, like from the side or whatever, and be gone. So anyway, if you run out of things to do.
Yeah, I am 100% open to ideas.
Did somebody bring back the talking moose? I can't remember if that had been redone for.
Sounds like somebody did.
For modern Mac OS, where it's a little Bullwinkle-like moose up in the corner that would
Yes.
just sit around,
Yeah.
watch what you do, and insult you all afternoon.
I tell you what, a lot of that fun stuff kind of went away with OS 10, but now we're, nostalgia
Yeah.
crazed, and with stuff like this or screensavers, like flying toasters, for example.
Flying toaster redo,
back. Yeah. So there's a lot
Or
of fun stuff to
Noctua.
do. So you can also get Mr. Macintosh 1.0.0 at ajdesign.app. And what anything else you want to create? AJ, is there some other old fun Macintosh thing you want to bring back to life, or realize something that might have could have been?
Well, yeah, not yet. I have some ideas
Okay, all right.
that I'm thinking about. Currently, I'm working on a new like a successor to text edit. Like I want to make like the modern text edit, but in an OS 7 look, to where it feels and looks like it's back on the operating system, Mac OS 7 or even 6.
Right.
So just a little nostalgic, and it's going to work on a Mac and the iPad as well. So you'll be able to open it up. It's going to have the original frames from the operating system, and so again, that's down the road.
All right. Neat. Well, thank you both for coming and talking about these great projects. And
For having us.
yeah, and I think Attila, you got things to do. Eric doesn't apparently, so he's going to stick around. So we'll be right back after this. Okay, that was just the end of the audio recording. We're still here live, but
Yeah, it's kind of weird that we do the hybrid. We
Yeah.
extract parts of the audio of this for the audio approach
But,
to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks again, Attila.
Yeah,
It was
thanks
good
for
talking to
having
you.
me.
Yeah.
And Eric, thank
It
you
was
for
nice
coming.
meeting you.
It was really nice meeting you in person.
All right.
All right. Take care.
I'll sign you out. All right. There we go. It's just us. Okay. Now we're going to get on with the rest of the show. How's everybody doing? And do we have any comments we need to talk about? Just some highs. All right. All right. Let's, John, we're going to get into eBay finds. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's time for eBay finds. Last time we had, it was a collection of different pins that were supposedly employee-only releases. I'm not going to go through all of them, but this was one of them. It was the 1984. Well, the Hello Classic Mac. It says 1984. Won't be like 1984. And I think that one sold, yeah, for the asking price of $99 for that little tiny pin. And then we had an interesting Mac SE that was outfitted with a green CRT.
Yep.
It was
They did
also
a tube swap from
Yeah.
a 2C.
from a 2C, yeah.
Yep.
It was also recapped, restored, Blue SCSI installed, mouse and keyboard. That one sold for, I believe, the full asking price of $699.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah. That's a lot there. And then we had Dr. J, yes, Julius Erving, basketball legend, supposedly owned this 512K Fat Mac, and it is still available, believe it or not, for the low, low price of $9,999. Or you can make an offer. All right, let's get into the new ones. This one, you know, Eric, we've been doing this podcast coming up 20 years, and you'd think we'd seen it all, but it's amazing that they come across something that I never even heard of. This is a listing. It's the rare 68000-30FX Macintosh 2FX Tower clone. This is a 50 megahertz 68030 system, a clone system based on a 2FX motherboard that was overclocked to get 50, sometimes 55 megahertz. And I never heard of this, but apparently it's a thing. And so, John, had you heard of this?
No, and I'm still trying to figure out if this is something that
on?
they just modified an actual 2FX board, or if this is a straight up unauthorized clone that somebody did.
Well, I think they were all unauthorized back then. It is a 2FX board that's in there, but there is like a page out on Apple Fritter talking about this when this was a thing. So we'll have to do an upcoming episode on it.
The thing that I remember about the 2FX was at a developer conference, Apple used to bring speakers in, and they brought Harry Anderson
Oh yeah, from Night Court.
from Night Court, and he was a huge Mac fan, and he gave this kind of half funny, a little scathing talk about Apple. But when he mentioned the 2FX, he said that it stood for too effing expensive. and 3,000 developers just died laughing at that
Right.
point.
I'm sure the Apple employees weren't pleased with that.
Yeah, that was before they sort of stopped that thing. It was good. We all enjoyed it, but afterwards they got a little stricter at who they let talk to us.
Well, they have a buy it now on this one for $5,499.95, or you can make an offer. We'll deconstruct this in a future episode.
Okay.
And
So
I
you're
have
going to
a,
buy it then, right? You're buying it so we can.
no,
talk about
I
it
mean,
first.
when I say deconstruct, I'm metaphorically. I'm not buying this.
I have an official Motorola StarMax clone sitting on the table over there.
Oh, yeah.
If that's worth anything, maybe I should look at eBay.
I don't think you're getting 5,000 for that.
No, I don't
Sorry.
think so.
All right, what do we got next?
All right. Next up, we have a set of vintage Apple corporate training manuals. This is let's see, trying to see here, Macintosh 7, Apple II discs as is. I'm trying to see. So yeah, we have an Apple II training. We have diagnosing network solutions, Macintosh System Software 7, Introduction Revision 1, product training, and Apple introductory training for the Macintosh, which that to me is the most interesting one. So yeah, this is a nice selection of books. I don't think these are probably going to be readily findable online. Scanned in versions of these. You can get all of these for $199.99. It is a place a bid, but there is also a buy now for $500. I think if you just bid on it for $199.99, you will probably get it. I don't think there's going to be too much competition for these,
Does he?
but they are pretty cool.
Somebody last year asked me if I'd copy this for them, which I should probably do at some point. It's Macintosh programming seminar, how to program Macintoshes from probably 1988, I think.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
that's freaking cool.
And so I used to teach this class, and so we had like 2 or 3 different versions of it. And I did device
With you?
drivers and OpenDoc as well. And I have all my old course materials just sitting here in boxes.
Well,
Wow.
we have to have you back
Along
on
with,
just
of
to talk
course,
about that
you know,
sometime.
yeah, yeah. If you have a lot of, I don't know if you have a lot of developers listening, but developing for the Mac was very interesting back then.
That's pretty
It
cool.
was it was a little more, a little less stable, but it was in some ways more fun, I think.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, this, I have not seen this style of educational material, but you have one that kind of mimics like the era that these were put out. So that's pretty crazy. You can put yours up for auction if you wanted to. All right, and we've got one more. Oh, well,
Holy
every
cow.
once in a while we got to talk about one of these TAMs, the 20th anniversary of Macintosh. This one is never used. Now, does it say new in the box? It just says original box and packaging. It says brand new condition, never been used in the original box. It was opened to inspect. So they did break the
there you go.
seal, so it's not sealed. The box looks in immaculate condition. So they put a stock photo because it hasn't been taken out of the box. I mean, look at the condition of this box.
Yeah, that is brand
crazy.
new
This
looking.
is what, 97, if I can remember it right. You got all the smaller boxes inside, and you just have to sort of imagine that the whatever's inside is also in immaculate condition. Oh, well, they open it up, the accessory boxes, so you can see the stuff. Doesn't look like. Let's see. We'll keep flipping through the pictures here. There you go. You get to see the computer still in the wrapping.
Even if they had gotten reduced in price when Jobs came back and just left it in a box, that's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah, the price, they have a buy it now. There's a make an offer, but if you want to buy it now, it's $13,500 for a pristine 20th anniversary Mac.
I was surprised at how much like Lisas are going for.
Oh my
We
goodness.
We actually
Yes.
gave one away at Mac Hack. Somebody donated us a Lisa because nobody wanted them back then.
Yeah.
And we gave it away as a prize for whoever could wear the most swag, the most Apple and Apple product swag to Mac Hack. And I can't remember who. I think Avi won, but we gave him a Lisa, and it was
Wow.
not worth anything at the time. And I don't know if he still has it, but
Was it a Lisa 1, an original Lisa, do you think?
I don't remember if it was a Lisa 1 or not. I mean, having worked
Yeah.
in the Lisa labs, I wouldn't want a Lisa 1, but
Yeah.
I know people like the oldest things. So
Well, yeah, those are the ones that go for big money now, for sure. One more note on that 20th anniversary of Mac. It's actually located in Helsinki, and it is a European/Swedish version that comes with a Swedish/Finnish keyboard. Supports both U.S. and European electrical standards. So there you go. All right. Well, we'll check in on these next week. Oh, all right. Let's take it.
So I'm not sure what happened, but a couple of times during that segment, the everything disappeared off the RetroMacCast feed for me.
Oh,
All it
really?
had was our background. You guys
Oh.
disappeared. I disappeared.
I didn't notice anything.
Very
Did
bizarre.
you,
Well, good,
Eric?
good.
I
Just
didn't
you.
notice anything, but
All right.
Could it have been when you were blinking?
My eyes are very dry. I have to blink very slowly.
Stop blinking. All right. Let's go right into the news. Let me pull that screen back up. All right. And let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right. It's time for the retro news. There's a new emulator in town. We've known and love Mini VMac, Basilisk. There's emulator. This one's called Snow. And I think it came out in like September of last year. And I found out about it through a video by One Bit Fever Dreams that does a great breakdown of it. Installation. This is on YouTube. Walking through the installation, configuring it, setting up, going through all the features. It seems very powerful, and unlike Mini VMac, which stopped active development like years ago, this one is new and even taking feature requests. So pretty impressive. There's a screenshot of it right there where it happens to be set up to be running I think a 2CX with a portrait display.
Portrait display, yeah.
Yeah. So, do we have a website on that? I don't know. Just search on the Mac emulator.
Snowemu.com.
Oh, okay. There you go. And then look at this. This is over in the Vintage Macintosh group on Facebook. The user's Orbital Crew has made a custom. What would you call this? It's like an insulator sheet.
Yeah, let's call it insulator sheet to go over the analog board.
Right, which you would never see with a regular Mac, but if you sport like a clear case Mac like John's got behind him, actually you could probably turn that and see what we're talking about, right?
Oh, sure.
I don't want to.
Voila.
Let's see. Wait. Let me magnify. There you go. See that right there, right? Which is not.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you some very important warnings not to
but
stick your
not
fingers
very
in there.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
Do not lick.
Yeah. Right. Keep tongue in mouth. But instead, you could replace it with something like this, which is way more aesthetically pleasing, and it still has all
Absolutely.
the proper markings and things. But gives you a nice 6-color Apple logo swooshing across.
Very nice.
And I think, I don't know, check in with Orbital Crew over there in the Facebook group and see what their plans are. Is it just are they offering a design? Are they going to be making these? I don't know what's going on, but it's a fantastic idea. And then also in the Facebook group, Anga, ANGGA, posted a video of this little guy. This is a custom-made little classic Mac, like an SE-inspired case that houses a little internet radio with a touchscreen.
That's pretty cool.
It is very nifty and perfect with a nice 1-bit, little interface there. Perfect. And they, unfortunately, you can't just buy them on Etsy, at least not yet. you either got to steal that one or you have to make your own. Fortunately, it's all chronicled here on GitHub, and we'll post the link to that. I think it's got, like everything, the files, everything you need to make it. And we've got a couple festivals coming up. Right around the corner is Kansas Fest, held at the University of Illinois in Springfield, which is, let's see, what is it, a week from now?
Yes.
Seems like it, yeah. 14 to 19 July. There's a virtual option John,
That'll
are
be happening
you?
in August.
That's okay. End of July, 31 July
Yep.
to 1 August. John, you've been how many times? Just the once?
No, I think I've been about I've
Twice?
been at least 3 times.
3 times, but it's been a
Three
long
times.
time since you've
But
been.
it's been at least a good 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. Fun event. I've never been. Be something fun to do one day.
It's very fun.
Go to
Yeah.
kansasfest.org. And another festival, a little closer to us down here, is the Vintage Computer Festival Southeast 13.0. It will be held July 31st through August 2nd in and around Atlanta. Yes, in Atlanta.
Yeah. And what's really cool about this one is a couple of years ago they partnered up with the Southern Fried Game Room Expo, which has got several hundred arcade and pinball machines and it's really great because let's face it, pinball and arcade are a bigger draw for a lot of people, but now they're more likely to check out the Vintage Computer Festival part of it if they go to this. So it's a great, it's one price to get in for both things. Fantastic. Yeah.
Have you ever been to a VCF, Eric?
Not that one. No,
There's
I've
one.
been to a lot of conferences lately. We used to go
Yeah.
to they had Apple user group conferences back in the late '80s, early '90s, and we used to go to those every year, which was kind of fun. I was the president of a Macintosh user group here called Mac Technics, and we brought in hundreds of people to come to our version of that conference back in like 88 or so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as good as the internet is, it did kind of kill the user groups, the in-person user groups and the festivals, and so these.
Yeah, it was the only way to get to get all the software. We used to have people would bring their Macs in to our user group meetings every month to have copy sessions to copy all their shareware disks. And we just sit there and swap floppies all afternoon long.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the news. Okay.
I just want to point out that we have One Bit Fever Dream is actually in the chat right now. The one who did the video for the.
Oh, fantastic! Yes,
nice.
Well, you led us to discover this great new emulator. I haven't installed it yet, but I'm kind of excited.
I'm definitely gonna be trying it this week. Yeah, that's great.
Neat. That was an excellent video breakdown of everything that has to offer.
It's amazing how good those emulators have gotten too. They were when they first started coming out, they were kind of unstable and you couldn't transfer files in and now you play with them and it's just like being on one of the old machines.
It really is. It's fantastic. Yeah. Of the whole emulator scene, it actually makes it easier for me to get rid of some of my old Macs and know that I'll still be able to play around on things.
Right.
Just as
Yeah, I have like a lot of old floppies, like this is my Mac 2CX original discs that came with it, and I'm debating what do you do with 1,000 floppy disks that I have in my basement.
Yeah. Yeah, and you said 2CX, that's what you originally wrote the Grouch on, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a 2CX. That's what I did most of my work. I had a 512K for a while at work, but the first Mac that I actually bought for myself was a 2CX, and I still have it. I'm curious if it'll boot. One of these days I'll boot it. I know my
definitely check for PRAM batteries on things.
Yeah, my PowerBook 170.
James can tell you that.
I have a PowerBook 170 as well, and I booted it last year for some reason, and it just booted. No smoke, no capacitors leaking.
Neat. Okay, I think we're gonna do the outro. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, we're at the end of another episode of the RetroMacCast. Our thanks to Attila for joining us, and Eric, who's still here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's been fun.
We are off, John. I'm on the road next week.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll be off for a week. And thanks everybody in the chat for joining us. Anything else, John? Any last words?
Nothing over here.
How about you, Eric? Anything you need to promote or alert us to?
I'm thinking about digging through all the old machines and stuff I have here and actually starting like a YouTube or TikTok for all the crap that's in my basement.
You should.
But I'm not sure if I'm going
Absolutely.
to do it or not yet. We'll see if I get
All right.
around to it.
All right. If you do, let us know, and we'll follow you.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, until next time, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Okay. We're still live here on YouTube, but the audio portion is done. And yeah, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, that was
All right.
an awesome surprise having you on.
it was fun.
I have to say, every single old Mac I ever had the grouch. It had the eyes, that would follow the mouse around, and it had the feet that would walk across the screen. Oh, and a menu ball. Those 4 things. Every single
Basic
Mac.
install, yeah.
Basic install, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
had like a floppy disk of the stuff that they needed to install.
Yeah, I
on
like
their
that.
Mac.
We could just take our system folders and copy them and move them to the new
Yep.
Mac, and they would boot with all the stuff that you liked in them already.
Uh-huh.
Not like a modern Mac where you have to sit there and configure it for a week.
Turn this off. Turn this off. Turn this on. Turn this off. All
Yeah,
right.
life is so much more complicated. All right. Well,
Right.
we'll
See you guys later.
Yep. Thanks again. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Oh, we're still here.
We got to do the.
we got a
end
little-
screen. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do a little playing of
Outro
music,
music.
and let's do that.
Bye, everyone.
All right, here we go. There's some music. Okay, we'll see you not next week, but the
2 weeks.
week after.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.